who are coming from outside Botswana, welcome to Gaborone. In the interest of time, my boss on the far right feels we should start. And I think it's the appropriate thing to do is call time now. And we can start. I think we are starting now. My name is Tino Khanela. I'm a former filmmaker. And because the industry by then, when I started working, was not existing, I ventured into PR. I'm now an aide to one of the assistant ministers responsible for this industry. And I work for Botswana Television. I work for various state-owned agencies as the head of PR. In my private life, I still do filmmaking. I got 20,000 followers. I'm also a historian on social media. So to start, I'll ask all the panelists. We have Dean, who's a director in charge for this industry at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture in Botswana. We also have the CEO of KwaZulu-Natal. Sorry, sir, forgot your name again. Hey, we've got Victor Senna, CEO of KwaZulu-Natal Film Commission. As you're quite aware, Durban is the place to be in South Africa in terms of filmmaking. And we also have Sani. Sani is from the Ministry of Tourism and Environment. He is the man who issues all the film permits in Botswana. And then we also have Bokandi Tokwa, Greatness. He's an independent filmmaker. All of you know him because he's one of the guys spearheading the change of the act for cinema in Botswana. So we're going to start. It's going to be a very high-level discussion. We're going to just talk, and then we'll give you an opportunity to also ask questions. And Botswana is going through a revolution under President Masisi, as you're quite aware. Arts are being taken serious. We are making collaborations with the outside, with independent producers or other artists outside Botswana, and we can have these conversation engagements to see how they're doing it in South Africa or in Nigeria or wherever. We are the only country in Southern Africa or in the continent that does not have a film commission. The whole world, 350 countries in the whole world got film commissions, including municipalities. So I think this will give us a chance to see where we are ready and for people like Victor to share experiences. Okay? So we're going to start with them to introduce themselves and to see how they link to the topic so that everybody can see where can they direct their questions. So we'll start with our visitor, Victor. Victor, tell us who you are and what's your view about Botswana or your success story or your challenges to have a film commission in South Africa, in KwaZulu-Natal specifically. Botswana like Durban. Every Christmas they all flock to Durban. So, do you have a mic? There's already a mic there. Okay. Yeah, let's start with you, Victor.
No, thank you very much, Program Director. I must say I'm very excited to be here in Botswana. You are right that Botswana people are always with us in Durban, and so that's why we are very excited to be here. And finally, we are here with them. My name is Victor Senna. Like I said, I'm the CEO for the KwaZulu-Natal Film Commission, and I'm very, I must say, I'm encouraged that Botswana is also considering starting a film commission because I think it's quite important that you do have a structure that is dedicated in terms of providing support to filmmakers in the country. In South Africa, we've got, it's not a lot, I heard you saying every municipality has got a film commission, but we've got 3, if I'm not wrong. At the national level, we've got the NFBF, which is the one at the national level, and then at the province, we've got the Gauteng Film Commission, we've got the KwaZulu-Natal Film Commission, and we've got the West Kro, which is in the Western Cape. I know other provinces are also in the process of starting their own dedicated film commission, like your Limpopo, like your other provinces. But it's very important that this structure is there because, like I said, it's a dedicated structure in the province. So it's got 2 mandates, if I can perhaps share with that. It's an economic mandate, meaning that it's responsible for making sure that they use film to stimulate the local economy of the province, in our case in KZN. So how we do that, we go out there, we attract international productions to come and shoot in the province. because if they come and shoot in the province, they're going to create jobs for the local crew, they support entrepreneurship and so forth. So in a way, it also contributes towards growth of the economy. And secondly, we assist filmmakers in terms of them telling their stories. So how we do that in the province, we've got the funding that we provide. So we've got production funding, where we support productions. Currently, we support them up to 1.5 million in KZN, and then we've got development funding, and there we support filmmakers up to 250,000 in terms of their developmental needs. In addition to that, we also support filmmakers in terms of them marketing and distributing their films. So how we do that, we help them to participate in the local film festivals in the country. We fund about 8 of them in the province. And we also take filmmakers from KZN to go and showcase their product overseas. So we attend a lot of international markets and festivals because we believe that is where our filmmakers can be able to market their products. And also what we do in terms of marketing and distribution, we negotiate contracts with different broadcasters in South Africa, your SABC, your ETV, your MultiChoice, so that filmmakers can be able to, their content can be able to be shown in those platforms. We also target the streaming platforms like your Netflix and so forth. We've got contract with them, so they are able to take also the content from filmmakers. So that is another way that we are helping our filmmakers in terms of distributing their products. The other role, important role that the filmmaker, the Film Commission plays is in terms of skills development. So we've got a very dedicated unit that deals with the issue of skills development. So in this unit, firstly, we provide bursaries. So we target students to go and study film and television. And then the other program that is very important and that is in industry skills development is also the learnership, where we take now graduates to be placed in different productions that are shooting in the province, so that they are also able to gain the necessary skills. But we also build the skills. We've got different programs that we implement.
We'll get to
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's cut it then because the introductions and how you linked to the topic.
Oh.
Let me go to my boss, Mr. Molebati. Do you want to tell the audience what you stand for as the ministry and then your intentions on establishing a film festival? I think that's where the juicy stories will come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Program Director. Good morning, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Energy, guys. Energy. I can't deal when there's no energy. I don't know how to deal with that. I think we at the Ministry of Youth, Gender, Sport and Culture, particularly the Department of Arts and Culture, look, our role is to stimulate growth in the arts. Our responsibility is to see that there's some level of vibrancy going on in the country about the creative sector. So that's where we come in. I'm always the first to look in the mirror and ask myself if I'm doing a good job together with my team, because that is very critical. But the beauty of all of it is that we work with industry. We try our very best to work with industry because we know that they know the stuff that we don't know. And if we don't listen to them, then we can't succeed. So the whole idea around the film festival, and I'm very grateful to my team. They are not here. I think they are busy trying to, when you run something like this, it gets hectic. So they are busy out there trying to knit things together. But I'm very thankful to them because they brought up this idea of an international film festival on the backdrop of National Film Festival. I think program directors will be aware. We had run 2 of those, but they said, look, let's bring a different dimension to this. Let's take this out, you know. And that I'm very grateful to them because that confidence that look, let's put ourselves out there. It's always a great thing because until you do that, you don't know what you are capable of. And the raving reviews, I must say, I mean, I've been getting raving reviews from colleagues from Namibia, South Africa, and I'm excited. I'm not excited because it's my office doing it. I'm excited because it's Botswana doing it, and it's us doing it. Because, you know, just getting started, as they say, the first step. Once you take that first step, whether it takes you into the abyss or not, you don't know. But the fact that you've just taken that first step always leads you there. So, yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. You had a fantastic night yesterday. It is from the visitors. Sunny, you are the man who issues film permits to international filmmakers in Botswana. You want to tell us who you are? Just briefly, and also how you link to the topic, establishing a film commission in Botswana. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Sunny Mokwat. Mokwat is my surname. I work for the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. And I'm excited that we've been also invited by MISEC to participate in this forum today. The mandate of the Ministry of Environment and Tourism is primarily to manage and conserve environment and also promote tourism. When you talk of tourism, tourism is greatly attached to filming. There's no filming that is happening in a vacuum. Tourism happens in an environment. We have what we call tourism, film-induced tourism. We promote tourism through filming. Most of our tourists that do come to Botswana is because they would have seen the places they want to visit through film. Either on the television.
Let's stop that. I know you're very eager to going to be from part of the questions. Yeah, Mr. Nitoka, tell us who you are and also how you link as an independent producer to the topic, establishing a film commission in Botswana.
Thank you, Director.
Make it brief, like less than 5 minutes, so we can finish off time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Bokang Greatness Pitlova. I'm a filmmaker, a former employee at Botswana Television, and also former chairperson of the Botswana Film Association. The question is, how do I link to?
Yeah, how do you link to the topic?
Yes. This is how I link to the topic. In 2012, having realized the problems that were within the film and television industry, we decided to take a different direction altogether to look at the law, how the law applies in Botswana, how the law applies to film and television. And that's when we started negotiating with government to establish a body that will be responsible for regulating the industry because it's a very big industry. Through research, we also found out that other countries have such bodies, you know, in charge of all the activities that are happening regarding filmmaking.
Okay, thank you. Victor, let's pitch the discussion in the use of time. We don't have a film commission in Botswana, so we want to find out in KwaZulu-Natal. convince these international filmmakers that KZN is the place to be. You have the right skills of Africans there to help these international studios who want to shoot in I think Balitos, in Zimbabwe, all those nice places. Yeah, just share the experience with us because we sit in a country where Botswana has got 2 UNESCO sites, World Heritage Sites, the Okavango, the Zodilos. We don't have a film commission. People are exploiting our natural resources. Can you share with us how you make your country the most preferred filming location?
No, thank you.
Let's make it 5 minutes each, guys. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I will try to
Yeah.
stick.
We are late already. Yeah.
I will try to stick to the 5 minutes. But thanks. I think the strategy that we've adopted as KZN is that we've got a dedicated unit that focuses on attracting inward investment in terms of film. So the services that we offer under this program, firstly, we do what is called a familiarization tour. So we go out there, we lobby international producers to say, we've got the following in our province, and we invite them to come and experience that. So that is what we do under this familiarization tour. So we take them through KZN at our cost. We cater for everything. So they just come, we pay for everything, and then we take them through all the film locations that are available in the province. And then secondly, we've put together an incentive to try and attract them to the province. Firstly, we assist them in terms of permits, if they need film permits in the province. We engage with municipalities so that they get those permits. And then secondly, we've got a database of the crew. So already when they come, we tell them that we've got a database that we've put together for the crew that is available in the province. And thirdly, we also incentivize them. So we've got different MOUs with different establishments, meaning that hotels, car hires, and so forth, that are discounted. So when they come, we try to make the cost of them coming to the province to be as low as possible. And recently, we've also launched the film investment facilitation fee, meaning that in addition to those benefits, they can also say to us that this is the type of support that we require from you, and we are able to make it possible for them. And fourthly, we've got an online map for all our film destinations in the province. So from anywhere you can go to our website, you click in the map, it will be able to give you all the locations that are available in the province. So that is what the package that we put together to try and attract international productions to come and shoot in the province. So we use different festivals, events, international events, to also promote KZN, to say this is what KZN has to offer, and these are the benefits that are there for you to come and shoot in our province. So we go out there and we lobby them.
Based on the competitive advantage, how many productions do you have in a year that stimulate economic growth?
Internationally, I would say plus minus 3 in a year that would come to the province.
And how much budget each? At least one?
It's a huge budget.
Like,
I mean, for example, a production will be having 200 million production budget.
okay.
And of course, we know that when we attract them to the province, they are going to spend most of that budget in the province.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Ramlemansi, I think you did a fantastic job in the last year of establishing the National Arts Council of Botswana within the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. You launched it with HE, but you still lack a film office. How do these people in this room, Botswana, reclaim the industry without the establishment of this film commission or with your intention to establish this office? I give you 5 minutes for that.
Thank you for the question. Once again, let me go back and just say I recognize quite a few faces, go greatness, go Mwali Mohorosi. I think there are other guys. Earlier I saw Prince Mona and the other fellows who have always been there, who have always been active and trying to do something in the area of film production. And I just want to, even for those that I have not mentioned, Wahong Sababone, just give them a round of applause for, for taking the lead really, as it were, yourself and others. And look, it is not easy because when these things are funded by government, it gets very tricky. It's always a question of getting the law to, policy to shift to in your direction. And as you said, the National Arts Council came on the backdrop of President Masisi taking over, and we had lobbied and lobbied and lobbied for years and almost given up. He came along and he understood immediately, and then something happened. We are still hopeful that we can lobby him further, just push our boundaries, because we need to do that. Push our boundaries and get the Film Commission up and running. We had a discussion recently with the Minister of Finance, and they were saying to me, look, there's no room for new SOEs. SOEs are gobbling up the fiscus, and the fiscus is running dry because of SOEs that are not coming to the party, not making money. And guess how I responded to that? I said, yeah, it's because we are running a lot of SOEs that are useless. We must shut them down and open up new ones that are going to make us money.
Wow.
That's my attitude. Because it's easy for you to sit there and say to me, no, we can't start another one. And so this is a discussion we are having with government, and I'm happy to be part of the discussion when, unfortunately, I don't get to speak to the president direct, so it's a limitation on me. But it's something we are pushing. But I want to appeal to you guys, Lona Batwana, sitting in front of me, and the rest of you in the room. Guys, we have to push our members of parliament and ministers, many of whom are your friends. And many of these guys are young guys that you know, many of you are your cousins and sisters and brothers. We have to be talking to them. So if we don't do that, we can't get these things through. This is our opportunity. And when this president goes, I think, again, we will go on that very steep uphill battle. So we have an opportunity, and I beg you, let's all do it. Because if it goes to parliament, and you've been talking to all of them, then at least we have a chance. But when we are talking to the president alone, and then isolated, maybe we are talking to Rakari alone, and it's not going to work. We need to be talking to different people, all of us, not just Rona. I work for government, so they don't listen to me. I'm just a lone voice in the distance.
Yeah.
But when all of us start to talk to the people that matter, members of parliament, ministers, different ministers, wherever they are, wherever you meet them, something is going to happen. So I'm really staying hopeful. And we need a film commission, and we are going to get it.
Okay.
That has to be our attitude.
Well, that's fine. We have a question about that later on. Greatness, before I come to you, Victor. I like how my boss, Ramole Bati, was complimenting the old guard, the first filmmakers in the country. That's after TV started. And then now you have the new guard, the Y2Ks, who are now, most of them are winning tenders because they're doing a fantastic job also. But I want to find out, you as an industry, are you united so that Remo Lebati can actually now start establishing a film commission? Are you united, sir? Red Clover.
Thank you.
Less than 5 minutes of my speakers, so that chasing that.
I would say yes and no.
Okay, why?
Yes and no, in the sense that I think there's a bit of, when it comes to understanding the film and television industry in this country, we have like two classes of people. First, we have those who are television people, and then we have the film people. Film and television are two different areas, but there's a very narrow margin in between. But then out of that, you find that most of the people who are dealing with television do not necessarily need a film commission. But those who are in film, in real film production, these are the people who are pushing for the establishment of a film commission. But then, over the years, as we continued our negotiations with government to establish a film commission, we realized that we had people who were coming from associated industries who were pushing for the establishment of the Arts Council. And it came a little late, but was passed before the film commission. How did that impact on the industry? First, those who believed in the Arts Council thought the Arts Council is the last bus stop. But it's not. It's not in the sense that an Arts Council, it's more of an organization that deals with the welfare of the artists, the welfare of the creatives, and not necessarily the business side of things. So the Arts Council, yes, will maybe fund you to go to a film festival, they'll fund you to go, they'll sponsor you to go to many of these activities, but they can't fund you to the tune of 200 million, to produce just one film. Whereas the Film Commission actually does the responsibility of the Film Commission when it's in place to fund you to the tune of 2 million to produce one film, 200 million or 300 million, depending on the budget that would have been laid down. So this has therefore caused a little bit of, not necessarily friction, but misunderstanding of the concepts and how these two organizations relate to each other. Film Commission and an Arts Council. An Arts Council is just like the many Arts Councils.
But can we have a film commission or office within the Arts Council?
No, it's not possible.
Okay.
It's not possible because when you look at the Arts Council, if you have read Arts Council Act, I haven't seen anywhere where it mentions film.
It does actually.
If at all, it would be maybe one or two pages.
It does actually. There's a film office within the nomenclature of the Arts Council. But we'll get to what you want to go through. Let me go to you, Sani. Botswana is proving to be a powerful player in terms of the meetings, incentives, conferencing, and events. Just like in Durban, we have the convention center. Your ministry recently came up with a strategy, a nice strategy. I think it's like 2 weeks now. At least that's what your minister, Macklin, is saying. I want to find out, will this strategy work in the absence of having to establish a film commission? Because part of you to sell Botswana is Botswana to tell the story. So how do you have the strategy without establishing the film commission? Again, 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Yeah, like my colleague over there, I'm a government employee. Some of these things, when you talk of them, you have to be very careful. It's true. Unfortunately, at the present moment, we don't have the Film Commission. And without the Film Commission, this does not mean that we shouldn't continue with doing our work. So it's true that without the Film Commission, the proposed strategies of MICE, like you said, they're not going to bear fruits, because we believe that the Film Commission was to support such strategies, especially in marketing, especially in regulating, the movement of tourists. And also the Film Commission was to give authority to all the institutions that will be involved in filmmaking. So it is important that we come up with this institution so that it can give support to the MICE strategies. Some of the strategies or initiatives that government come up with do not realize the benefits because they are not being supported by structures such as this commission.
How many international filmmakers do you give permits in Botswana in a year?
And in a month,
Okay.
we sometimes receive 1 or 2.
Okay.
Yes.
So pretty much 10, 12.
Yeah, in a year.
Sometimes you can get.
Yeah, and mostly they are international.
So
They are
you
not.
can get 24 permits.
Yes, 24 pennies.
Okay. So was there any need to see these filmmakers also as part of inbound tourism? Did you cater for them within the MICE strategy? Because definitely they are bringing money into the country, and if you develop a strategy as tourism, there should be something for them within the strategy.
Yes, it caters, but it's not like it's not that strong.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes.
Victor, tell us about, I want us to link it to the MICE in KwaZulu-Natal. I've attended your Durban July's, your music festivals, definitely Durban tourism has got a strategy. And part of the strategy is to link it with the film office, which is your organization. What are the incentives for filmmakers to come into Durban? International filmmakers or any national filmmakers in South Africa. What are your offerings? Do you want to share that with Botswana? Because definitely we are sitting in a similar position, but we don't have a film commission. So maybe we can learn something from you. Please, 5 minutes.
No, thanks. I wanted to steal just 1 minute to help you make a case for the Film Commission
Okay.
in terms of the impact that it can make to the economy.
No, that question is going to come.
Oh,
Answer
okay.
this one. Yeah.
All right. In terms of incentives, I think I touched on it earlier that we've got a package that we offer filmmakers who are interested to come and shoot in the province. We've got a one-stop shop facility that we provide, meaning that if a
I think, yeah, let me fix it for you, Peter. Cape Town, we know is strong in filmmaking. They even have studios there. Recently, Limpopo has become very popular. Tom Cruise recently shot a movie last year. You also have Gauteng, which is very strong, the strongest economy in the continent. You want to see how unique you are. How can Botswana partner with a filmmaker in Durban to utilize all this beautiful, you have the most beautiful coastline. Yeah. So I want to find out, or they want to find out, what incentives, how do you become different from the other cities?
Thanks. I was trying to come to that in terms of the incentives that we provide for a filmmaker who would be interested to come and shoot in KZN.
Yes, without going to Cape Town or other places.
Yes. I think the first one, like I said, is that we have an financial incentive that we provide to filmmakers who are interested to come and shoot in the province. So we've got funding that we provide So we've got co-productions that we do with different countries. For example, if a filmmaker in Botswana wants to partner with a filmmaker in KZN to do a movie, we've got a funding that we provide to them. And in addition to that, like I'm saying, we want to make sure that you spend less in terms of your costs. And as a result, we've got all these contracts that we have where we, for example, you need accommodation. Accommodation is a huge cost driver for filmmakers. So we've got those negotiated rates that we have with different facilities in the province. And in addition to that, if you are still not happy with the incentive or the discount that you get from the facility, we are able to top up together with our mother department, with the Department of Economic Development. So we can actually pay full amount in terms of your accommodation, so that it makes it easier for you to come and shoot in the province. We are doing the same now with, I think everybody has seen Shaka Ilambe. They've indicated that they want to shoot season 2, and we are having that engagement with them to say we want you to shoot most of your production in KZN.
In the real place.
Yes, because we've got the locations. I mean, Shaka is associated with KZN. You cannot do it anywhere else. So that's what the discussion that we are having with them, to say we are going to help you make it cheaper for you to shoot in KZN. And by doing that, it means we have to put financial resources into that so that it becomes much cheaper for them to come and shoot in the province. And also we do the film tour where we take them around the province to show them all these amazing locations that are there in KZN, the beaches, game, everything that is available in KZN. And we do it at our cost, where we take them around the province so that they can get a sense in terms of the amazing locations, film locations that we have in the province. So that are some of the benefits that we provide. And of course, we've got databases of crew that you can make use of. And we also assist you in terms of all the necessary permitting that you might require in the province, so that it's easier to shoot in KZN.
Beautiful stuff. Honorable Lebati, KwaZulu-Natal, you see things are happening there. Are you listening to your local filmmakers so that all these beautiful things could start to happen? Are you listening to them? Definitely what Res Senna is saying is what filmmakers have been saying in Botswana. Are you listening to them?
I think program director, the circumstances may be different. I mean, like you say, they have one of the amazing coastlines is in Africa. So obviously, our circumstances may be slightly different, but we have a lot of great locations in Botswana alone. Where we are not, is what he is saying, that they are funding film companies at great expense to come and make movies in KZN. We don't have that kind of budget. So these are the things we are going to have to push boundaries to be able to get to, and that is why a film commission then becomes important, because it's a dedicated organization to do that kind of thing. And again, I like what you said, already Toko said earlier, but we should differentiate between television and film. Recently we had a meeting at finance. Once again, I was in the thick of things because the national broadcaster was there saying, no, give us everything, we will give these guys whatever little, and we were there to say, no, we are talking about film. We are talking about film, television production and broadcasting. You are a broadcaster, we are talking about film. And suffices to say, for Ghana, there's the Cinematography Act that is being reviewed. It's under review, and as somebody said last night, we are still hopeful that the February sitting of Parliament will look at this, will look at the act and possibly pass it. Where we are wobbling, or where we are in fear, is that we are being told, no, we can't have another SOE. get the film commission proposed in the
Ask us.
no in this thing. Get the film commission proposed in the Cinematography Act out of that act. But now when we get it out of the act, where do we take it? That can't fly. So this is where it becomes important that the rest of industry is involved, because when your voice gets louder, there will be people to listen. When my voice and my team try to make noise, why is it again? Nobody hears it. So that's where industry becomes important. That's where already are important. That's where the associations must be strong and active to say, look, the film commission it's a necessity. Let's work together to make a case. And if there's number crunching to be done, let's get Boresin and others to show us and teach us how we can make the case. And that's where I'm convinced that if we take that case to the current president, we'll come up with something, because we will be showing how much money the country will be able to generate from this alone. Okay. And that will dovetail with what Rem Mokwati was talking about, Kanya mice. All these things work together. Again, they will work in concert to make money for the country. So we must make the case. And if we have people like this who have already made the case in the past, we just have to pick a bag on that and learn from them, and then we make a case, and then we present it to the president. Because I'm confident the president is more likely to listen to us than anybody else currently.
Victor, we are lucky to have a president who's an artist. So that's why I keep on referring to him. Sunny, you issue these film permits to the National Geographics, Disney's, you name them, for most every month, as you are saying. What has been your experiences? Do they actually come to shoot in Botswana? Do they hire this Botswana equipment, labor, services? I know you have guidelines. What has been your experiences? Please, just 5 minutes. I know we have a lot of stuff to see, but you know, we hear things. The Okavango is the most preferred location for these people. So tell us, what have been your experiences?
Thank you very much for that question. Our experience as the Minister of Environment, when we issue these permits, especially these international filmmakers, not much remains in Botswana. We don't benefit that much, except
It's a problem.
Except that our tourism areas are being marketed outside. There are few who take part in the film production, but we are still not happy with the number of participation of Botswana who are actually working with them. In our guidelines, we try to encourage these filmmakers who are coming to Botswana to partner with our locals, to work with our locals, so that there's capacity building. There's also revenue generated to our locals. We are experiencing, I don't know whether that word I'm going to use is going to be a very strong one or what, but our locals who are involved in activities such as the polars, Bamkor, those who are involved in providing information about locations, which are the locals, who are trackers. They benefit, but not that much. we think that a lot needs to be done to make sure that our local peoples get involved in the film production. There are very few who are actually engaging with international local international.
What's your view on drones and artificial intelligence in tourism? Filmmaking.
This technology is good, but sometimes it has got the negative side of it. Currently, we have these international filmmakers who want to do filming over protected areas, like wildlife areas, conservation areas. But you see, for the sake of security, we do not allow the use of these aircrafts over these protected areas, because we've realized that sometimes the intelligence gathered is not used for production, for leisure, right? It's a security threat.
Okay.
So these are some of the things that we guard against, so that the information that is being generated around these protected areas is not used in a way that is going to be very detrimental or a threat to the conservation of these areas.
Fantastic stuff.
We know that these areas, we know that there's problems of poaching, and this technology sometimes is being used to perpetuate this.
Okay.
That's why we have some problems with that.
We get a question about that, Daniel. Ready Talker, you were instrumental in the changing of the Cinematography Act of 1970. This act was made in 1970, guys. It's long overdue to be changed. So this gentleman was part of the consultation processes around the country to ensure that that's going to be changed. What were your learnings? What do we need to change in that act?
Thank you, Director Solomon. First of all, the Act itself was passed in Parliament. It was passed by Parliament in 1967. Now, from 1967 to date, either government or other stakeholders did not make any effort to develop filming guidelines, and as such it remained dormant for close to 6 decades. As a result, it means therefore that the emerging changes in the global arena with regard to filmmaking have therefore surpassed this act. The act is behind schedule by over 60 years. The issues that are being talked about today, we have the technology. Technology has changed from the days of Betamax to VHS, High 8, to the current. When you look at the consumption of content, it has changed over the years, and therefore the Cinematography Act does not cater for all these changes. As a country that does not have regulations, it means that even my colleague here, when they developed their guidelines, I remember we also involved in reviewing the guidelines in 2017. There were a lot of challenges, and a lot of people have come from abroad with equipment. They came with crews, complete outfits to shoot and go. And then there was no enforcement, or there is no enforcement up to date of the legal deposit copies, because in in every country that that has a well-established film and television industry, it is a must that you deposit a copy of your works. You deposit with the National Library, you deposit with the University of Botswana National Archives, or the department or ministry responsible for issuing licenses. Therefore, because we do not have a film commission, it means they do not find it may be important to deposit because they have no place to deposit.
That's fine.
And we are losing a lot of money because of that. And when you wanted the footage to purchase the footage from these guys, it comes at a cost.
Okay.
So these are some of the issues that we picked
Okay.
during those sessions.
Remember, I'm now doing the last round, but obviously some will ask, some will tell them just to speak from their heart. Remember, there's an opportunity that I see that one of your filmmakers here in Botswana could collaborate with KZN. Why do I say that? One of their kids, Msilikasi, passed through Botswana. As a matter of fact, he was defeated here at the village called Dukwe. That itself is a powerful story. You see in Bulawayo, they're already celebrating Ushaka Day or Lubengula Day. So I think there's an opportunity there that local filmmakers need to exploit. So I want to ask my boss here from the Ministry of responsible for culture, what kind of storytelling do you think these young people need to move towards in the absence of film commission? We are now at a point where there's no film commission, but you are pumping money into the industry, left, right, and center, including Botswana television. What kind of stories do you think you are looking for? Just to shape these young people so that the industry can thrive, so that by the time we have the commission, we know we already have critical content for the world.
Thank you, Program Director. I think that's a difficult question for me. I'll ask Mwabi Mohorosi to answer on my behalf after this.
Okay.
Because I know clearly, I'm not an active player in the industry. I'm just an arts administrator. But, because this is my last round, I just want to say to the guys in the room, particularly from Botswana, that, look, we can never lose hope of forging ahead. We need to forge ahead. We need to, the guys who are pioneers, Bonabo, Mohorosi and others, I think they've been able to do something under very difficult circumstances. And so for you guys who come in at this time when technology is at a very advanced stage, I think you are better off. And in summing up, I just want to say that we have all kinds of people in this room. We have the KwaZulu Natal, we have the Gauteng Film Commission, we have the folks from Namibia, we have colleagues from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Uganda, all kinds of places. This is a networking event.
Absolutely.
Much more than anything else you could imagine. And this is the opportunity to think about your next big story.
Wow.
And what you are going to be shooting next. Because all these guys who are here from across Africa, it gives you opportunity to plug into a whole system.
Wow.
The problem that we have always had as Africa, and this is an African problem, and it's an African problem that we must talk to. We want to live in isolation. He wants to be happy that they are doing their thing in KZN. She wants to be happy they're doing their thing in Gauteng. No, we are doing our thing in Gaborone. This thing does not work. And part of the reason why, and for instance, when my team, Hau and the team went to South Africa, they got a lot of encouragement from these guys to to get started with this thing. So that if we ever had doubts, they said to us, look, getting started is always the best thing. So we are here now, and we must move ahead. So working in silos has never solved any problem in the world. When we work together, that's when we're going to push those boundaries. So I want us to go away from these sessions feeling very confident that we have our colleagues from almost all of Southern Africa. And all we need to do is just come together, work together, keep having these sessions. When they are in Durban, let's be there. When they are in Gauteng, let's be there. When they are in Lesotho or Windhoek or wherever, let's come together and try to work with it. Co-productions are going to deliver what we need. And we can deliver even bigger and better film festivals. We can deliver even bigger and better films, and we can then take on the world.
Fantastic stuff.
We can take on the world.
Your last word, Victor. What's obviously you're the most experienced of all the panelists here. What's your what do you want to tell us? Can you collaborate with Botswana?
Definitely. But what I want to say, maybe as my last remark, is that I think you should go for it as Botswana in terms of fighting for a film commission. I think the impact will be massive on the economy of Botswana. What we do in KZN, I did indicate earlier that we would fund a filmmaker for 1.4 million, 1.5 million, but you find that the total budget of the production is 15 million, and we say we want that 60% to be spent in KZN, and that's how you will start to build the economy of the province or of the country.
As the members were saying, if you do a co-production with KZN, do you also need to bring finance as Botswana?
Yes.
Okay. And are they 50-50 or how does it work?
It depends on the discussion we have. Okay. Some of them is 60-40, depending. Okay. So it depends on the discussion. And also in terms of job creation, I mean, we just did a study now to say how have we created jobs in KZN, and we've created in excess of 40,000 jobs just by funding different productions.
Wow.
So I think it will do a lot for the country such as Botswana.
These are full-time jobs?
Well, it's a combination.
Okay.
Remember, production counts,
Yeah.
it's a short-term job for that particular job.
Okay.
So I would say go for it. I think we are there, South Africa, to support you in terms of this journey. And I think the point that you are raising is very critical. We've been having engagement with the film commissions in Africa to say we need to start working together. So we've got an association where we say how do we pool resources together so that we support filmmakers, we tell our stories. I would say go for it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Simon, your last new caution to filmmakers here, but I think before that, just give us at least 3 of your best locations of Botswana. I know there's Timbale, which you can turn into New Zealand, and there's Bolepagola, which you can turn into Australia, and you have the spectacular locations of Botswana, Mr. Senda. Spectacular. Yeah, Usavuti, Leganti. We know in Leganti there's a filmmaker who stays there who has shot so much footage that for the next 50 years he can still use it. We also have a problem, Simon, where we get international filmmakers come to Botswana and shoot in our flora and fauna and claim is the Kruger or claim is somewhere else. I'm giving an example, mother is Kruger. So we want you to tell us over your last word.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's true.
You know the advert, the fish eagle, where it flies and it gets the fish.
Yeah.
We see in cinemas around the world. It was shot in China,
Yeah.
but people claim it's somewhere else. So how do you guard against that?
That's really difficult. Thank you very much. My last word, colleagues, here is that these are some of the problems that we do encounter, and probably because of the lack of this commission, our legislation is not that tight. We need to tighten the schools. There are so many leakages that we see. But the best place is to do filming. I don't think I'm the right person to talk about it. I think my audience are better placed. But what we see now happening is that the concentration of filming is done in the north. That is around Chobe National Parks. That is where we have more biodiversity, where we have our animals. That's where the interest is currently. So the permits that we do issue them to the work to take place around our parks and game reserves and forest reserves and wildlife management areas. And we've been trying by all possible means to shift the industry to face southern part of Botswana, where we have the sand dunes, where we have our towns, cities. They can also make films out of that. We have our dams, Ulitsi Uho and other dams in the eastern part of Botswana. So that is the direction in which I think film should also take, so that we can market the country, also this other side of the world.
Beautiful stuff.
Yes.
Radikova, you hear from the man himself. Victor, where we are sitting right now in the city, it used to be called cotton fields. We have a wall behind there called the fields. This is where Botswana started. It was actually a farm. It's got so much rich history. Notwithstanding the fact that in South Africa you are driving the story of Mapapube, which is real history. It ended up in Makhikhati. These are some of the areas that were sanitized by the white people. We need to tell those stories. So your question, Ray Bitokwa, is there a viable market for all these filmmakers in Botswana, so that by the time we establish a film commission, we are more than ready? Is there a market? That's your last shot before I open the floor.
Thank you very much. The answer is yes. We do have a market. I think a forum like this one provides us with greater opportunities for the markets. This is not the only area where people meet and discuss issues like marketing and distribution. But when you look at the run order of events for this film festival, you'll definitely agree with me that yes, the market is there. And we also have other international film festivals that we can have our films screened. To date, although I do not have the correct statistics, but we have quite a number of films that have been selected outside Botswana in other international film festivals, which shows that there's really a gargantuan appetite for African films. So the market is there. In terms of my last words to the colleagues here, I'll say that every game has got rules. There is no game without rules. Therefore, the film industry is like a game. It needs rules, it needs guidelines, and the Film Commission is the ultimate that we have to look into. So let us not be spectators at our game. We have to be involved. Let's work together towards the establishment of a film commission. The market is there. We are living in a global village, and therefore marketing our products shouldn't really be a problem, given the examples given by my colleague here about the KZN film commission activities. Thank you.
I'm going to only allow 4 questions because there's a session that is coming up. And each question should be directed to each speaker. We came late, so I'm only going to allow 4 questions, guys. I'll start with the woman. The lady in the glasses. Say where you are, what you do, and who the question is directed to. I'm not going to write anything, they will write. Okay. Before I close the session for other sessions.
All right.
Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Glenda Bailey. I'm from the NBC Namibia.
Yeah.
And I have a question for the KZN we talk about a lot of things, but we don't talk about crew and the treatment of crew. I want you to please make a note.
Yeah.
Because international crew come and treat local crew crap.
Yeah.
So I really want, I just finished a feature film with Netflix that was shot in Namibia
Okay.
as a line producer. And
Where Namibia was it shot?
In Kabango, in
Okay.
Katima Mulilo.
Okay.
And I had, on an hourly basis, I had an argument with the line producer from Mexico on how they were treating my crew, and I will not stand for that.
Okay.
So please, I know in my country, for instance, I believe that in America and abroad, they've got unions that protect crew
Yes.
and how you need to treat them. We don't have that. In Namibia, we also don't have that.
Okay.
So if you don't have a loud mouth, they're going to run all over you. So please just make a note that we respect our local crew, that our local crew gets treated and paid accordingly, and that they don't treat them like, in my language you say, net samtuko.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, yeah.
That's fine. We hear you.
Yeah, so my question to
Yeah.
the CEO,
No, just one question, Mama. You have to go to another because it is interest of time. You asked a question about treatment. Noted. Next question, please. Say. Yeah. Shh. Say. That's what I said. We are closing the session. I know you have another session at the door. Last question.
I hope my
No, second question.
I hope my voice carries clearly.
Yeah.
I'm not a,
Name, country,
yeah.
question.
Lawrence Thompson from Zambia.
Okay.
And
Where in Zambia?
Lusaka.
Okay.
Based in Lusaka. I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And president of the Producers Guild in Zambia.
Fantastic.
Okay. My question is for Victor. And I wanted to just ask you, you told us about all the opportunities you offer international filmmakers, but you didn't touch on the tax rebate system.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I'm struggling with in my country.
Okay.
I know you have, because we benchmarked your film commission, and I'd like to hear how you can help us sort of
Structure.
respond to the issue of cash and tax rebates.
Okay. Two questions for Victor already. And say.
Okay, Dumela Maraitsu.
Yeah.
My name is Pelonda Mpatana. I'm from Botswana Screen Society. This is my director.
Botswana Screen Society. Mr. Mpapai. Question, sir.
Directed to Mr. Mulibati.
Okay.
Right. It's good news that we have the. It's good news that we have the. Hey, I was trying. It's good news that we are having the film commission coming. And my plea probably is with the film commission in place, it is vital that we commit to the necessary progress to ensure possible progress within a reasonable space of time so that we realize
Question, sir.
I'm coming to that.
Yeah. Time. Question.
We realize that now, I don't know what to say.
No, ask a question, sir. We are at the time.
Right.
Also a question.
My question is that I'm looking at time here. Earlier on, like right now you are saying time. We came here late, isn't it? Right? And maybe it's good that when we deal with such things, we look at time. Even in this office, I'm saying, look at the Act of 1960, and now transformation, when is it going to come? Right? When is it going to come? If at all we are going to have the Film Commission in, the processes, that is why I was talking processes, from the Film Commission up till we realize the milestones. Because of time, because the way we use our time, we are going to still delay, and that will be a drawback to the film industry. Hey, you made me but I'm very worried if I asked it.
Your question was directed to who?
To Mr. Muller.
About time or transformation?
What I was saying, timing is a problem.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Muller says he heard you. Madam?
Dumela. I'm Martha Pell David from Creative Cactus, Botswana.
Okay, listen.
I'm a script writer. So the question is directed to all of you. We've been working with politics for a cultural-based problem. Why don't you work with the Ndlwane Policy? Because the Ndlwane Policy processes issues like this, then passes to the National Assembly, where it's then debated and then passed as a bill. Why are you using politics, members of parliament that are not helping us for years now, and not go back to the grassroots?
No, but Mr. Muller, Mr. Muller, please say. Sorry. Hold on now. Where in Zimbabwe are you from?
I'm from Harare.
Okay.
My question is to the Department of Tourism. Are these people paying for work permits? Because you are treating them as tourists when they are coming here to work. Do they get work permits? And I mean, with the locals, how many locals do they engage? Because what we do is we ask for them to come as HODs, and all the employees must get them from Botswana. That's the only way we can engage.
Okay. Last question. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Monoro. I think I'm audible enough. Thank you, sir. I am a film actress and a newly established producer. What I have is a group of creatives that have got a different plethora of people that are in the industry in South Africa, Namibia, Zambia, wherever it is that you operate from. So I'd just like to plead with everybody in the room that if they would like to get into the network, connect with me, because this is how we're able to share such information together across two different networks. Thank you.
Okay. I've closed the questions for the floor. Mwami, did you want to ask something? I saw your hand earlier. Okay. West? Okay. Last one to you. I want to go to the old guards. Yes.
My name is West Gandao. I'm from Research Communications. On the database, I think it's very important that we should have a database in Botswana, because most of our staff that we do such kind of opportunities, they come and we don't have a database. We don't know where to get a cinematographer. We don't know. I'm in the database of Pastor myself.
Okay.
Yeah, because I once went to South Africa, I did it with the team. So I'm in their database. So I think it is very important that we create a database very quickly.
Okay.
So that all of us get the database. So when these guys they come in, they use the database.
Okay.
And they can pick up the crew.
That is for you, Mr. Itopa. Yeah. Oh, okay. I've been given permission to get 3 more questions. Gentleman with the cap, you mind if you take your cap out? Who's what can't have us strong? Or like a busy. Okay.
I get it. This is a creative community.
Yeah. No,
my name is Tumelo Bokhatsu. I run a creative think tank called Bahisan.
Okay.
And I just wanted to probably direct it mainly to Ministry of MISAC, and then BTO. Tourism, right? What efforts are you making to make sure that you build an ecosystem? Meaning that you talked about the fact that you just develop a strategy, but that strategy is not inclusive of film. And it's not only film, it's to then consider all of the associated bodies. So in terms of your strategy already, you have left the people out of industries that you do not understand. So what are you planning to do in the future? Right now we're talking about sustainable systems, we're talking about inclusivity. What efforts are you making to make sure that when you develop these strategies, people's voices are involved?
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Gentlemen at the back, you've been raising your hand for quite a while. Name, where you're from, and the question.
Thanks very much for this opportunity. My name is Gia Malau. I'm the founder of the Rustenburg Film Festival, which is a film festival that has been now running for 9 years.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Botswana for taking this initiative, because myself being a film producer, I've always wanted to come and do work in Botswana. But now, because things were not legislated, and we always find it very difficult to access some of these things. I would like to say, without Botswana focusing on wildlife, because we know when you are taking wildlife, we know you get all this international cruise to wildlife. The stories about Botswana, they are very interesting. We have had in the past 2 years, Botswana films been submitted into Rustenburg Film Festival, and to put the cherry on top, 2 films from Botswana opened the Rustenburg Film Festival. Earlier on,
My brother, get straight into the question because in the interest of time, we have other sessions.
my brother, I know, but we
Yeah,
don't fall
please.
this way here to also participate.
Yes, but time, my brother.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
I know. We all know that we started late and everything is running late. Yeah. You raised something very, I think one of the colleagues there raised something very interesting. Limitation or the restrictions study helicopters, air flights, filming over the Okavango. Yeah. With that, I just wanted to just say, maybe if you can consider talking to Kruger National Park to assist you how they manage all that thing. So it's just the comments that I wanted to add. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. Are we done with the questions, guys? Anyone again? Era.
Dumela. My name is Pela Diakwana. My question is directed to BTO.
Okay. It's not BTO, guys. It's Botswana. It's Ministry of Tourism. There's a difference.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
My question is, you are dealing with international filmmakers that come into the country, never had the permits, and I want to believe that they are paying for such permits. Is there going to be a time where you would consider that whatever money that you are getting there, you will help the local film industry, because we are a struggling industry that doesn't have any funds. And you all have this access to films and everything, but the monies, we don't know what I am like. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll start with you, Victor, to hit back at the questions. Very interesting questions from the audience.
Thanks. I think there were two questions for me. I think the first one, I fully agree. My colleague from Namibia, that in fact we are dealing now with one production where our crew were treated very bad and not paid timelessly. But what we are doing as the KZN Film Commission, we've identified that we need to, when we contract with this international production, we need to include it there. Our expectation in terms of payment to crew and also the overall treatment of the crew that will be coming from the province that are working on that production. And secondly, we are actively establishing film associations in KZN. I think today we've got 4, and we are establishing more. And we've also established a film federation because we always want the interest of the filmmakers to be protected. And also from our side, I think it's quite important that we actively monitor once this production is commenced shooting the province, so that we are able to timelessly pick up these issues that impact negatively on the crew from the province. The second one, I think it relates to incentive. We've got an incentive that is offered by our national government that incentivizes international productions and co-productions. And our role as the Film Commission, we assist those productions, especially that wants to shoot in KZN, for them to, with the compliance issues. But we can have a discussion during tea time now in terms of how we can assist you with regards to your incentive scheme. Thanks,
Sir.
Thank you, Program Director. We know what I am. People don't examine we say never about what's that. Yeah, but anyway, the first one I heard was the brother here talking to time. So it was not very clear to me on a process. Of course, these processes are very difficult. It always comes through Parliament, and so in terms of time, I can't give you timelines. But what I know is that what I also know is that, but by the whole we are trying to push distance, we are not as many as you see Botswana is disadvantaged because civil society here is not too strong. You see, advocacy and civil society they do wonders in many countries, and they can push things very quickly through these very difficult, rigid systems. Remember, our government has been running like this for as long as I can remember. Things have always grinded very slowly. And that is why industry must play a role. So I think time is of the essence, like you're saying, but we will never get this through Gaspiti. May we need to work together, because in concert, I think we will then be able to change that for a deal. And that's why I was saying, let's engage all these politicians. When my sister was saying, no, I don't want to have a policy, let's change the system. Unfortunately, I can't do that. It always goes to parliament and you need a whole new legislation to get to do it the way you are doing. But what we can do still, we can get Bonadi to support some of this legislation that we need to get it through parliament much quicker and agile, or make it a bit agile than we normally do get. I think there was an issue around databases, so that we can connect easily. I want to say to Prince Mona, the Screen Society, and the other folks in the room, this is where you guys come in. I run a department with a shoestring budget, so sometimes I can't promise anything. But let's talk to each other. Let's talk to each other, because we are already working together. Let's talk to each other and see if that database is something we can carry. I would always want to carry it outside the department, outside government. It's always let's see if the Arts Council can assist us in any way. Can we work together and get that up and running? Because then film crews can be identified very quickly, or whoever is needed in the industry can be picked up very easily. What efforts are being made to build an ecosystem? I think that's a very smart question from a very young person with enthusiasm, I believe, and I think that's clever. I can't make the claim that we are doing much to build that ecosystem, but that ecosystem must come from us working together. Rona, we are just there for you to guide. Basically, how I would like to run this department is that you be the guide. I follow your lead. I don't want to put things in front of you. I want to run this department by following your lead. So if it's something that you have ideas about, the problem is that you are chit-chatting now when I'm trying to get your attention. If I can follow your lead and you can tell the department exactly how you see this built, then we can. So let's all talk together, guide us, because I'm not an expert. I'm an arts administrator. I'm not an expert at many of these things. So I always want to hear you guys say, we want this, we think this will work, this kind. Then we follow that as much as it is practically possible. I know I can't answer. I can't meet every demand there is in the industry, but we can try and work together to do that. I don't know if I've covered all of
you have. As a matter of fact, my boss, I think that one of the issues, guys, that when we are sitting in the Ministry of Youth and Culture is that young people in Botswana, you don't follow the conversations in Parliament. Right now, Parliament is open. All those questions MPs are asking in Parliament, this is about two. And just to answer this lady, just to quote Bosiaka, in this last 2 weeks in Parliament, there was a question about the film industry and also tourism. So a lot of people, these questions, these are more. So if you don't advocate for that, you're not going to do anything. You're going to get us Sadi.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I had two or three questions regarding tourism, but I take it that one of the ecosystem, the director has just covered it. On the permits, my colleague from Zim, according to the immigration laws of Botswana, all non-citizens who enter the country must be given, it's either they should have a resident permit, visitor's permit, or work permit. So they follow that. When you talk about employment, that's what I was saying when I was making my submission earlier on. Yes, there is these international filmmakers, they come in Botswana, they hire our locals. But the people who are being hired, they are the people who are not actually participating in the production, who are, I don't know what to say, educated enough or have the competences of film production. But they are then doing small jobs of, say, tracking, providing information about the areas, doing the pollers, taking the filmmakers around, and being paid peanuts. I don't know that one we can call it employment or what. So what we really need is you guys take part. You should be part of the production. That's what we want. That's what we want to see happening, partnering. We want to see when these films are being shown on televisions, we want to see your names on the scripts. But these people, the ones I was talking about, you will hardly see their names projected or written in those scripts. Why? Because they are deemed or taken as, the work that they were providing was not that much and does not warrant probably to be recognized. So these are the concerns that we are having as the ministry. The other question that was directed to me was whether the government was going to consider helping our locals to also grow in the industry. I'm not very sure. I'm not in a position to commit campaign on that one. But I take it that with the envisaged film commission, maybe that should be a platform where such ideas can be brought forward and be discussed. Okay. Thank you.
Exciting stuff. Greatness. The last speaker.
Thank you. I think Mr. Molevati has responded to this one. The Ndulali policy issue, that's the only one that maybe was also directed to me. The fact remains that there is a process of making law, and those processes have to be followed. Even if we were to go through Ndulali policy, we will still have to, go through the CAB memo issue so that parliamentarians can, debate on the act, and then the bill is passed as law. So it's a slow grinding machine. Yeah.
All right. Dean Mulabati, Ikasena, Sane Mokware, Bokandi Togwa, you guys have been a fantastic speakers. You guys asked some very insightful questions, and thank you for being here. I guess we set the tone for the whole week. We should give us a round of applause. Thank you. And now go for a break and go for other sessions. Thank you, guys.